Batman The Dark Knight number 23, written by Greg Hurwitz, art by Alex Maleev. So last issue we got basically introduced that Clayface has stepped up his game, he's gotten real smart, and he's hiding out in plain sight. So this issue picks up at the Gotham Securities Exchange, and there's a tour going on where a guy's like, oh yes, this is the central hub for money in Gotham, but don't be confused. There's actually no money here. This is all just based on the market stuff. But if somebody were to do something like Bane did in Dark Knight Rises, like literally that exact same thing, then the market might go down. And then wouldn't you know it, inside the vault, it sounds like there is a voice. And when they open it up, it's Clayface inside. And someone fires a net at Clayface, which he obviously gets out of, and then Clayface says, do it now. And it turns out that a bunch of people that were in this tour or whatever were all working for Clayface. And he's like, yes, that should tank the market quite effectively. And there's a young woman there, and then Clayface kills all of his own goons. He just stabs them all. And there's a young woman, and he's like, well, I'll make you match. And then Batman comes in and saves her. And gets her out of the building, tells her to run. And then as he's fighting Clayface, he has this new special gun that when he fires it, it starts doing like a Green Lantern sort of thing where it makes a construct of a airtight cylinder. But in order to truly capture Clayface, it needs to seal completely with the ground. And when he fires it at Clayface, there's a fire hydrant in the way, so it's ever so slightly tilted and Clayface is able to get out. So Clayface keeps on attacking him. He keeps on firing off shots. Clayface retreats a bit, firing off shots. He can never quite get that clear and level ground. So Clayface manages to escape, and Batman's like, well, let's try something else. So he goes and he talks to Mad Hatter, because Mad Hatter, if you remember in the last arcs, was responsible for the death of a woman that Bruce was actually pretty super chill with. I'm going to say loved. He loved her. So he goes to Mad Hatter and says, hey, Clayface somehow knew in the last issue that Natalia whatever is connected to Batman. You're the only one who knew that. Who did you tell? And Mad Hatter's already gone insane again. He's like, oh, Batman's not here. I'm just talking to nobody. La 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 la. And so Batman checks the visitor's log to see who visited Mad Hatter. He's like, well, if I can't get it out of him, I'll just talk to everyone he talked to. And number one is Penguin. Not specifically Penguin, but one of Penguin's henchmen visited him. So we see Batman sneaking into Penguin's bedroom. Penguin tries to shoot him with his umbrella gun, but Batman switched it out for one that just has flowers on the end. And he's like, hey, here's my hypothesis. You told Clayface so that Clayface was going to then go and tank the stock market in a way that benefited you. And through all this other happenstance and stuff like that, he's using goons that are goons of your rivals. So therefore, when he kills them, it's actually strengthening your position. This is all on you, Penguin. Penguin's like, that is a lot, Batman. You are reaching hard. And frankly, no, I don't think that's right. That doesn't sound anything. However, I will say that Clayface is the only person in Gotham who's more two-faced than even Two-Face. So Batman disappears out of the scene. We see the bat signal is up on the roof, and Jim Gordon goes to turn it off because he's not the one who turned it on. And then Batman shows up next to him and just smacks him upside the head and says, like, sorry, Jim, had to make sure you were Clayface. And he's like, yeah, thanks. So Batman explains the situation. He's like, yep, I got this thing. It can capture Clayface. Airtight, totally cool. There's also an airtight cell in Arkham, so we don't need to worry about him there either. And it's like, great. How are we going to do it? What's the way to do it? It's like, well, the only way to get Clayface to not be able to like shift his form is to scare him. When he's spooked, he doesn't have as much control over it. And it's like, okay, how do you spook Clayface? And Batman looks over at this pile of stuff that we're not privy to yet. So we see Clayface is hitting up a market or something. I don't know. His narration says it has some super special diamonds that are super like blood diamonds that are extremely rare and valuable. And he's like, oh, imagine how much resale I could get on those. And as he goes, he picks up the diamonds just on his own. Literally no one else is there. He sees the shadow of Batman inside, and he's like, ah, ready for round two? But then he looks around and he sees other Batman. He sees, as he exits the building, he is completely surrounded on all sides by Batman. And one of the Batman shines a flashlight of the bat signal up into the sky, at which point the Batjet zooms in, uses the gun technology of the airtight container, and seals up Clayface. And it turns out all these other Batmen were just members of the GCPD that have dressed up as Batman just to spook Clayface. So they've got him captured. So he got him bottled. They take him to Arkham and they put him in a cell. And they make sure to say, like, yeah, no, we gave him a way to breathe. Like, he's able to breathe and somehow not escape. He's good. However, all it takes is one tiny little crack and Clayface can escape. So I don't think we're done with Clayface. I mean, this does end in a very final sort of way. It feels like the end of the story, but I don't know. It just feels like there wasn't quite enough developed there. The fact that we're setting up of like, oh, Clayface is more duplicitous than even Two-Face, and then they just immediately caught him. I don't know. I feel like we're still doing something with that. But I got to say, Alex Maleev's art, top tier. It really does add a certain mood to it. The shadows on it look great. I no notes on that front. So overall, I'm going to give this one... It's not quite as interesting as the last issue was. I do think I enjoyed that a bit more. This one at least had a few... Like, it had the comedy beat of Batman just slapping Jim Gordon in the face. I enjoyed that. I thought it was funny. I'm going to say this is probably a solid 7. I think it's a 7. It's good, but it's not great. It's a perfectly fine issue. I'm waiting for that moment because, like I said last arc, this book did something impossible in making me believe that Mad Hatter was an actual, like, top tier villain for just a minute. I'm waiting to see that with Clayface. I think they have the potential here, but it's not quite pulling in the trigger yet. So I just want to see what happens when we get there. For now, it's a 7.